DTEFLON.com. Don't forget, you can also find us each and every Sunday for Sunday service. Hollywood actors, directors, producers in conversation with some of your favorite Hollywood legends present from the film and television industry. Don't forget, next Sunday, joining us for all you Power fans, a.k.a. Cooper Sack, Shane Johnson will be in the building. I am your host, as I said, DTEFLON on the MIC. Don't forget, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So for you, like,
you can find me in the club, bottle from above.
For you, like, what would you say has been the biggest challenge you've had to face, not only just in life, but in the personal training business?
I really don't. Well, I don't really have any. It's not like, to me, honestly, this is easy, man.
Mm-hmm. But like, I mean, have you ever had a client where, like, you know, where, because I'm sure obviously there's some clients you have to motivate more than others.
Yeah.
And how do you, like, where they've just completely given up on themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you find that inner thing to keep going, knowing full well they've put on themselves, where you're even more to the point where you get to the point of frustration where you're like, fuck, this guy's just not doing, I know it's in him, but I can't get it out of him. How do you keep going to stay motivated?
I think that just comes from within, you know what I mean? Like honestly, man, my clients, I love them. You know what I'm saying? They're like little babies, you know, they like, you know what I mean? I know the impact that I have on them. And so I would never quit on my clients unless they were so dogged in their disregard, you know, for themselves, and they made it so clear that they just ain't effing with me. And there's only so much I can do. You know what I'm saying? Man, look, I will pull, I will kick, I will yell, I will scream, I will do everything I can. But there does reach a point where it's like, you know, if you don't want it for yourself, I can't do it for you. You know what I'm saying? I can show you how to do it, but I can't do it for you. And so that can be very frustrating. And honestly, man, it's not a good feeling. It sucks. I know for me, I get attached to my clients. You know what I'm saying? I want to see everybody, like, for real. I used to have this saying, I just want to see my clients win and stuff like that. But it's true. It's like, I'll be like, please just do it. Just do it. Man, it's like I wish I could do it for you. Wish I could do it for you. You know what I'm saying? I could give someone a roadmap and be like, okay, it's just like a roadmap. It's like, if you want to go from here to Palm Springs, okay, you got to get on the 5. You got to take the 5. I can literally give that to someone, and for whatever reason, people will find an excuse to get to detour or to do this or to do that, and that's cool. We all do that in life, right? And so it's my job to kind of steer that course and just as best as they can, because at the end of the day, Kevin Hart said, he said, look, man, that moon is coming up. You know, in the morning, that sun is coming up. And I don't know about you, D, but I don't know how many suns I'm gonna have. I don't know how many moons I'm gonna have. And so man, let's stop wasting time. Let's be dope now. I need mines right now. Hey, whoever want their dream body, come holler at your boy. I need you right now.
Listen, I plan to take you up on that, but it's frightening at times, because I've seen some of the cardio shit that you do, and I'm like, I don't know, because, like, I mean, for me, and this is where I've always had this question, because again, when I was younger, I was heavily involved in sports, martial arts, did all that shit. I trained like a motherfucker. My ex was a fitness god. Her mom was a world-class bodybuilder. So when I was with her, my body was in the best shape of my life. I mean, even on nights when I was, you know, tired as fuck, getting home at 4 o'clock in the morning, she's like, yo, going to the gym. And when I had someone there to, as you say, to hold you accountable, as much as I hated it, I was like, oh, I feel good. But then once we broke up, I just sort of was like, okay, I trained the way that I did in fight training. It was like, I did a lot of cardio then, but it was like train for the fight, and then take some time off.
Yeah.
Train for the fight. It wasn't about putting on weight. And then what I realized is that, like, last year when I was trying to get, you know, or I guess 2 years ago when I was trying to get my mental health back into place, I was like, okay, I want to start working out again, because I was just starting to feel like shit, as you said. Like you go and you step into a room and you just don't. And I wasn't feeling good. My body wasn't feeling good. My, the abs that I used to have weren't popping the way they used to be before. And I was like, and then I started, like, I went on one of my friends' training thing, and then I was doing like fucking burpees. And then I did some other workout, and I ended up popping out my fucking pec, my shoulder, and I couldn't move for like 6 weeks. And it wasn't where it happened immediately. It was that I was doing something.
What's up, Monica?
And it was something that was for me was very simple for me to do before.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it anymore. And it was making me so fucking mad. I was getting so frustrated. I was like, this is easy. Like, I can do this. So I kept going, even though, and I didn't, and I remember I didn't stretch properly beforehand, which was the worst mistake I ever made.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up in, because I was like, my friend was like, you got to ease back into it. I was like, no. I'm going to get right back in, because that's how I knew how to train before. It was always that explosive training. And then what scares me, because I've had a lot of people that I know, when they've taken that long period of time off training and they start reaching, towards that 50 plus mark in their life, like me, I'm like, okay. And then what happens, I'm watching friends of mine between the ages of 40 and 55 dropping like flies. Like they're trying to get back in. I mean, even something like where they get a trainer like you, and they start working out again, but then all of a sudden they die of a heart attack. Because, and even like, I'll give you an example. You can look it up. You can look it up. This guy named Shadow, who was a bodyguard in the industry, was 6ix9ine's bodyguard. He was Jake Paul's bodyguard recently. This guy was, he trained every day just like you. He went to the gym every day just like you, was athletically fit. And then 2 weeks ago, he's in Gold's Gym in Miami, and he ends up having a heart attack at 45 years old.
Okay.
While working out. And he was perfectly, like, in shape. And that to me is like, it scares me. I'm like, I don't want to go up that way. Like, is there a way to, do you feel that there's an age limit if you try to get back in the game again, that you can push yourself too hard?
I mean, overtrain. If we're talking about overtraining, then yeah. But I would also mention that it's possible that some of these people may have already had some preconditions, that maybe existed outside of exercise, because exercise is known, right, to help improve your overall health, whether it's cholesterol, diabetes. I mean, we can go up and down the line, right? And so I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's the exercise necessarily that are getting these people, or if it's the fact that they maybe need to get their weight down, and maybe the clock just has gone out on people. That's it. I would never. There's certain. Basically, you want to be safe when you're training, right? So you never hop into something dynamic and explosive like that without taking someone through a progression, okay? And checking in with someone and making sure that it's ready for that. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to have a 50 or 60-year-old man doing a bunch of squat jumps when cartilage, is this something functional that he's going to be doing in real life? If not, why are we doing it, right? So you always want to kind of design your training around things that people do in everyday life, right?
Okay.
If I'm training an athlete, that's something completely different. So you always want to try and find that good mix of, okay, what's the goal, right? What's the safest way and the quickest way to get us there without, and that's how you want to look at that, and so, it's called progressive overload in training.
Okay.
So you want to progressively overload, so that you're not just throwing a kitchen sink at somebody. You know what I mean? Because that is how injuries happen. Right? So if I took, I can't, man. Let me tell you something. I just had a realization.
Because I want to train with you. I'm just scared of your cardio, man.
Oh no, man. Look, I wouldn't even, man. Look, and here's the other thing. I do believe that there is there's a lot of intuitiveness that comes in training. I got to be looking at you. I got to be seeing how you're breathing. I got to be checking in. I got to be cognizant of how you feel. Oh, I got to be aware of all of that.
Because I have underlying conditions, and that's the thing. And that's for me is like, you know, like I bike a lot now, but like like I said, you know, when I was training before to fight, my cardio was crazy, but I'm not that guy no more. I ain't throwing hands the way I used to. Well, so now things have changed where like for me to even like go like, running for 5 minutes, I'm like, I feel like I'm having a fucking stroke, you know? And then there's days where I'm like, okay, I feel really, really good. But then there's other days where I'm like, as I said, if I'm training and I'm like, I can't do, because everything for me, everything hurts. Like all day long, every day, back hurts, neck hurts, arms hurt, elbows hurt. Like, because I put my, and you know as well as I do, like when you're in this business, the sacrifice.
Right.
You don't fucking sleep. Like you sleep when you're dead. You are up hours of the night. You're working. Right. You're grinding. You're busting your ass. So your health takes a back seat. And I'll admit, my health took a back seat big time. And now that as I said, where I'm like, you know, I look at myself and I'm like, fuck, like, and that's why I was Buck Shams. I'm like, yo, your black ain't cracking anytime soon. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, what you're drinking, but I'm like, I can't keep the fuck up anymore. Like before, I always felt like, hey, like I'm not in, as you said, I'm not in competition. Yeah, I was like, I can fucking hold my own, but I'm like, dude, I'm like, I can't, like I see him in the gym doing things. I'm like, and I'll go, and literally he'll put up a video. I'm like, okay, let me go try. I'm in the ground. Like,
no, but see, here's the thing that people don't know, right? Man, that's another reason why I stay in the gym. Because once you stop, yeah, you can hold on to a little bit of something. So you hold on. But man, the reality of it is there's no way I'm coming back in there. Recently, this happened to me. Okay. I was like, yo, it's taking me a whole lot longer because you know, my quote unquote best, right? I'm in there twice a day. I'm doing all this crazy stuff. I'm going super hard you know, not all the time, but pretty regular.
No, you go. I watch your shit, man. You go pretty hard the majority of the times. Whatnot. I see you going from like the gym to your little shake spot where you buy your energy drinks. You got your bandana on, and then you come out, and then you'll train somebody, and then you'll be doing the boxing cardio, and then you'll switch it up. Then you'll be yelling at some girl, and then you'll be back on the thing. And I'm like, this guy's this. I mean, it's the thing, and I love it because I'm like. It's you've got a routine going, right? You know, it's a steady routine, and that's the thing for me. It's not where I don't want to train, but it's just that like my motivation has always been I have to have some. We don't have to be working out together, but you got to be with me. Like, yo, like D, we're going to the gym right now. Like if me and you live next door, I'd be like, okay, let's do it. But if no one's calling me and saying, hey, D.